Welcome, ladies and gents, to the weekly wrestling roundup. I'm your host, as always, your mother's favorite Vaz. And listen, welcome to PWC. I'm just gonna jump straight into it. We know exactly where we're going with what happened in wrestling last week. And let's not even beat around the bush. I don't even want to mention WWE at this point, because what happened on the weekend was exactly what we're all expected it to be, and that was a huge hit. But before we go into that, and before I go into more details on my downfall of All Out, don't forget, ladies and gents, to click subscribe, click notify, and get yourselves informed of everything that is the PWC. We've got a whole bunch of content available on our YouTube page. Please go and check that out, ladies and gents. It's a fantastic one. And tell your parents, grandparents, lovers, haters, everyone. This is what we do. This is what we do. So, let's mention WWE quickly. Let's give them their well-deserved weekly wrestling roundup, because that's what they deserve in essence. We kicked off with Raw last week, Monday. It was alright. It wasn't anything fantastic. We had a great triple threat match. I'll put that out there. I mean, the Damian Priest, Drew McIntyre, Sheamus was fantastic dynamic, and a lot of that has to be credited to McIntyre and Sheamus. Their chemistry in general is just fantastic. It's what you want to see when it comes to in-ring competitors. Other than that, we got an unlikely tag team forming in that of Rhea Ripley and Nikki Ash. Bobby Lashley is Bobby Lashley dominating on. He did take an RKO, which was quite interesting to see. Maybe gearing up for having the tag champions challenge Lashley. Oh, and that happened. We got new tag team champions. Of course, you saw that in SummerSlam, and they continued on. And that was about it. Really, not much else to report when it came to SmackDown. SmackDown was pretty much the same. We got the match that we wanted in Finn Balor versus Roman Reigns, which was, it was a fantastic, beautiful match. It was probably one of my favorite matches of the year, and that includes any matches we saw at All Out as well. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a great match, and I'm glad it's at the end of the rivalry. The little tease at the end. That's interesting to know whose red light is that. There was a distinct heartbeat as well. Fingers are pointing to three individuals in general. My personal opinion, it is to summon the demon Finn Balor. And I think that's what we're going to get at Extreme Rules. It's going to be Roman Reigns versus the Fiend. The demon Balor. Bring to the Fiend one of the other rumors going around that it could be the Fiend that's coming into SmackDown, maybe potentially re-signed for WWE. There is rumors going around, which we're going to get to a second or two. The other one, the most obvious one, is of course the red light. We have Brock Lesnar. We heard Paul Heyman's ringtone was Brock Lesnar's theme song, which was quite funny. So all these are building up. Who's it going to be? Whose red sound and visuals or all that? Other significance in SmackDown, Big E teased again that he's still Money in the Bank as a janitor this time. Happy Corbin is back, and I love Happy Corbin. I think Happy Corbin is money. Let's keep Happy Corbin. Yes, I'm for it. And then we look over to NXT. We had a couple of people come out and challenge Samoa Joe as the champion. Of course, he beat Karrion Kross at TakeOver 36. And it was just basically a simple, straight-out fallout for TakeOver. I think this video will probably premiere on Tuesday, which means that we're going to get whatever happens when this video drops on NXT. I guess a little bit more info. We really didn't receive anything else other than that. Frankie Monet has put herself in pole position to challenge Raquel Gonzalez. It looks like the NXT UK slowly is integrating into WWE's NXT, the American version, which has I've got some of that when we get to the rumor mill section. But now that we've covered WWE, like I said, we did a quick Impact, even quicker. Christian Cage spoke to us. Cool. Now, actually, one last thing before we get to AEW. Just got to mention it. There is people that are fans of this type of wrestling. I'm not one of them. I think death matches are stupid. I don't think they belong in a wrestling ring. But Jon Moxley is the new GCW champion. He beat Matt Cardona at a indie show, I guess you can call them that. Yeah, that's cool. So well done for Moxley. But there was something a little bit more significant that came a bit later at All Out, which I need to speak about. Now that we got all that out of the way, now that we've done that, Dynamite and Rampage built up All Out to what it was supposed to be. I was a little bit disappointed. I'm not going to lie. I was disappointed when I heard that Pac and Andrade was removed from the card due to flighting issues and scheduling issues. That's what we got. I don't know. I don't know if maybe Pac's stuck in the UK and he can't make it through in time with quarantine rules and all that sort of stuff. I'm not sure what the regulations are with the UK and the US. I know Andrade was in Mexico. He was competing the week before, so I don't know if that was a clash. I don't know where the clash is. But we're going to get that match on Rampage. It was announced on the 15th of September, so that's pretty cool. Next week, Friday, of course, when this video drops, it's Tuesday already. So yeah, you get that. But I'm gonna do the negatives first. I'm gonna do the negatives first of All Out, and one big negative, and this doesn't really have to do anything with the show itself, rather with the fans that are associated with AEW and professional wrestling. You cannot claim that this is the end of WWE. The pay-per-view, in general, was not as good as people are making it out to be. All right? Yeah, I just said it. Yeah, you guys can destroy me in the comments, but it's true, guys. It is not as good. The matches were average at best. All right? However, the significance of this pay-per-view cannot go underestimated, all right? Now, please understand, I'm not saying this pay-per-view was fantastic. I'm not saying this pay-per-view buried WWE. By no means is any company ever going to bury WWE commercially, marketing, no matter what they do, all right? However, what it did do and what it has done for professional wrestling is shown that a smaller company can put on 50,000 capacity shows and sell out. But, and this is where things get a little bit dirty, a little bit murky. If we didn't have those surprise endings in the last segment, and yeah, if you haven't watched it yet, go watch it. Don't watch the rest of this video, because I'm going to spoil it for you, but you've probably seen it all over social media, because it's been all over social media. We got two massive debuts in the end of the show, and that was Adam Cole, baby! Boom! And Daniel Bryan, or Bryan Danielson rather now as he's going by. And yes, they were fantastic, but we knew they were happening, which is why people started tuning in to the pay-per-view. Now, as a casual wrestling fan, as a man who has watched WWE his entire life, and I watch other wrestling, don't get me wrong, I love other wrestling. I used to be a huge fan of New Japan Pro Wrestling until they got old and they just started putting retirement people inside there. I understand travel restrictions have really screwed New Japan. I was a massive fan of Lucha Underground, and I used to like Ring of Honor. I used to like Ring of Honor before all the sex scandals and, sexual assaults. They were great to watch. But let's be honest, WWE has always been there, and the casual fan is probably only watching WWE. But they've now tuned into AEW because of Daniel Bryan, let's be honest, right? Adam Cole, if they watched NXT, maybe that was a draw card. Ruby Riott or Ruby Soho, yes, I suppose they liked her, but she didn't really get displayed much on the W. So they are turning in for Daniel Bryan. But it's not just Daniel Bryan, of course. We're talking the big show. Paul Wright was on the card. Christian Cage was on the card. These are guys that people have grown up with. CM Punk. Do you get what I'm saying? Is they've done a smart. They've brought in these bigger names from WWE past, nostalgia, brought them in, your Chris Jerichos, your CM Punks, your Daniel Bryans, your Paul Wrights, your Mark Henrys, your Christian Cages. And they're showcasing them. And that's what's drawing them in. And that is the hype train that these fans are on. That is the hype train that these fans are clutching. They're clutching on and claiming that it's the end of WWE. It's not. You know what? AEW will probably be around for the next 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 years. Impact has done it. Well done to them. TNA did it for a while. They all sort of just evolved into one. Ring of Honor's been there forever. New Japan has been there forever. They're going to be there, but no one's going to be a juggernaut that is WWE. And you know what? I'm going to say it right here. AEW's product has been much better than WWE. But you know what? In 2004, TNA's product was much better than WWE. Didn't stop anyone from not watching WWE. 2012, New Japan was killing it. Ring of Honor was killing it. 2014, 15, 16, Lucha Underground was destroying WWE when it came to content. WWE is still there. That's all I'm going to say on that one. Let's go to the positives of AEW. And I'm just going to get the elephant out of the room. You guys know I'm not a big CM Punk fan. I've never felt like he was a great wrestler at all. But kudos to Punk. He put Darby Allin over as he said he would. He said he was coming into AEW to help develop the youth, and he's done exactly that. He made Darby Allin look like a star. Whether Darby Allin had it always in him, he's had fantastic matches in the past. Great. But him and CM Punk brought the house down. And then we go to that tag team match. I'm going to talk about this tag match because of one thing and one thing alone. You guys know I don't like tag team wrestling. I don't. And particularly, I don't hate them. I despise them. I think they are the worst thing when it comes to wrestling. And that is the Young Bucks. All right? Picture Jim Cornette versus Vince Russo rivalry. That is how I feel towards the Young Bucks. And the reason is that they think they're just so damn good. And they do these stupid-ass gimmicks every single time. They think stupid spot fest, and it just annoys the hell out of me because it's not professional wrestling. It is, let's see how many flips and dips and super kicks we can do in a single wrestling match. With that being said, Lucha Bros, who did all the flips and spins and super kicks and dippies and whoopies and lippies and rippies and all other couple of lippies, brought the house down with the Young Bucks. Match of the year contender, no doubt about it. It was a spot fest of note. And it kills me to put Young Bucks in this contender, but facts are facts. It was a fantastic match. It probably should have been the main event. The Kenny Omega Christian Cage match felt, shenanigans played a role as always in every single AEW title defense. It's been the norm as of late. And I like to think that in the prediction game, if you haven't watched it, go watch our chat about AEW All Out, and you will see that I was correct with Adam Cole, baby. Me, the only one who remembered that Adam Cole was going to freaking be there. Anyway, I'm just doing what Jeremy does best. And then we got to talk about the final thing, the one thing that I'm bittersweet about, and that is MJF Chris Jericho. You listen, Jericho won the match. He keeps his career. He can carry on wrestling. I love Jericho. But maybe it was time. Maybe it was time to hang up the boots. And MJF would have been the perfect man to retire Chris Jericho at this point. Their rivalry has spanned on for so damn long. Like, can we get more of it? No, please. God, no. But yeah, it was a bittersweet because I kind of wanted him to retire because I want to remember Chris Jericho as Chris Jericho. But the last maybe 2-3 months, he has been not the Chris Jericho that we love, but that's for another day. But that's all the time I have for the Wrestling Weekly Roundup. We now bring it closer to the Rumor Mill! Yeah! The Rumor Mill! And with the Rumor Mill, that basically means we're going to wrap up all the rumors that have coming out through. There's not been many. Most of the rumors have been circling around one particular wrestler, and that is Mr. Rotunda, formerly known as Bray Wyatt, formerly known as, of course, The Fiend. And where's he gonna go, right? Everybody's already, 90-day clause is still, I think he's got another 30 days left in his clause plus minus. Is he gonna move back to is he gonna move into AEW? Or is the new rumors coming around saying that Triple H is fighting to get Bray Wyatt back on WWE programming? Now, it's been announced that, of course, Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard would be taking over NXT as of the 16th of September. And so that's going to happen, which means Triple H is then rumored to be pushed up onto the main roster to help production over on SmackDown, apparently at Fox's request. So maybe he wants to bring in The Fiend for SmackDown specifically. Personally, I don't see that happening. I see him going through to AEW. I really do. I think that's going to be the last major signing for AEW for a long time, actually. But yeah, that's just something that was quite interesting. I mean, like I mentioned earlier in the thing, the SmackDown red lights, a lot of people saying it was The Fiend and he's already signed, but he was spotted at All Out. Yeah, it's a bit of a tossed up one, thing like that. And then we're going to stick with WWE because on Monday they had a massive emergency meeting after the huge success that All Out was. I mean, the critics have been raving about it. Of course, it's going to worry WWE a little bit. But it turns out that this meeting wasn't to rewrite a WWE Raw, but rather to announce that there's going to be significant management change backstage. So, according to reports, Nick Khan, Vince McMahon, Stephanie McMahon, Paul Levesque, aka Triple H, Kevin Dunn, Christina, I can't remember her surname, is there. John Laurinaitis was there. There was a whole bunch of people. I think Mike Hayes was also included, and Bruce Pritchard. And they all came together and had this meeting with WWE. And it seems like it's going to be changing the structure of WWE. But that's all the time we have for you guys right now. It is the end of our show. Please, guys, remember to click subscribe and click notify if you haven't done so already. From me, your mother's favorite podcaster, Vaz. We'll check you guys again very, very shortly. Peace and chicken grease.